Hello my Booktubers friends, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I am going to be talking about my 24 books I would like to read in 2024. I would like to read A Darker Shade of Magic, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, Ascendant, The Shadow of Koshi, Keeper of the Lost Cities #3, Prison Healer, Scythe, None Shall Sleep, Final Girls, Shatter Me, Gilded, The Invisible Life of Audie LaRue, Powerless, A Court of Wings and Ruin, The Final Empire, Nevermore, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Pages & Co., City of Heavenly Fire, The Thursday Murder Club, Fox Club, Strange the Dreamer, A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, and Ink Blood Sister Strive. Now I'm going to try and look these up because I don't have all of them on me. Some I will have to borrow from the library. So let's start with the first one. A Darker Shade of Magic. It is about Cal, and he is one of the last Antari magicians with a rare contingent ability to travel between parallel Londons, red, gray, white, and once upon a time black. Cal was raised in Arnis, Red London, and officially serves the Marish Empire as an ambassador traveling between the frequent bloody regime changes in White London and the court of George III and the duelist of London, the one without any measures left to see. Unofficially, Cal is a smuggler servicing people willing to pay for even the smallest glimpses of a world they've never seen. It's a deficient hobby with dangerous consequences, which Cal is now seeing firsthand. After an exchange goes awry, Cal escapes to Grey London and runs into Delilah Bard, a cutting-cut purse with lofty aspirations. She first robs him, then saves him from a deadly enemy, and finally forces Cal to spirit her to another world for a proper adventure. Now, perilous magic is afoot, and treachery lurks at every turn. To save all the worlds, they'll first need to stay alive. And I believe the next one, The Serpent and the Wings of Dove, just came out in bookstores because it was recently published from a publisher. And this one is about an adopted human daughter of the night-born vampire king Aura carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kajari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. But winning won't be easy amongst the most vicious warriors from all three vampire houses. To survive, Aura is forced to make alliance with a mysterious rival. Everything about Rohan is dangerous. He's a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet what terrifies Aura most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. But there is no room for compassion. In the Kajari, war for the House of Night brews, shattering everything that Aura thought she knew about her home. And Ron may understand her more than anyone, but their blossoming attraction could be her downfall, in a kingdom where nothing is more deadly than love. And then the next one, Ascendant, I have heard going around, but once I saw a booktuber that I follow, Ian, read it, I wanted to check it out. So I bought all three books when they're on sale. I think it was one of the Kindle days. Holt Cook was never meant to be a dragon rider. He has always served the order hall of the Craig dutifully, keeping their kitchen pots clean, until he discovered a dark secret. Dragons do not tolerate weakness among their kin, killing the young they deem flawed. Moved by pity, Holt devised the order, rescues a doomed egg, and vows to protect the blind dragon within. But the scourge is rising. Undead hordes roam the land, spreading the blight and leaving destruction in their wake. The dragon riders are being slaughtered, and betrayal lurks in the shadows. Holt has one chance to survive. He must cultivate the mysterious power of his dragon's magical core, a unique energy which may tip the balance in the battles to come and prove to the world that a servant is worthy after all. And the next one is The Shadow Koshi, which is the second novel to the Rise of Koshi novels. And I really want to get to this since I have watched all of the Avatar Last Airbender episodes. I still have to get through the Korra season. So I'll read the synopsis for Rise of Koshi since I have not read Rise of Koshi yet, and I don't want to give myself away for the Shadow of Koshi. I am reading that this month though. The Rise of Koshi delves into the story of Koshi, the Earth Kingdom born Avatar, the longest living Avatar in this beloved world's history. Koshi established the brave and respected Koshi warriors, but also founded the secretive Daily, which led to the corruption, decline, and fall of her own nation. The first of two novels based on Koshi, The Rise of Koshi maps her journey from a girl of humble origins to a merciless pursuer of justice, who is still feared and admired centuries after she became the Avatar. And then the next one is also part of a series, and I'm reading that right now, and that's Keeper of the Lost Cities. And I have up to 3. That's why I have Keeper of the Lost Cities 3 on my list to get to. So I'll read you the synopsis for the first book, because I don't want to give anything away while I'm reading the first book at the moment. I'm over halfway now, and it's really good. And the main character is 12-year-old Sophie Foster, and she has a secret. She's a telepath. Someone who hears the thoughts of everyone around her is a talent she's never known how to explain. Everything changes the day she meets Fitz, a mysterious boy who appears out of nowhere and also reads minds. She discovers there's a place she does belong, and that staying with her family will place her in grave danger. In the blink of an eye, Sophie is forced to leave behind everything and start a new life in a place that is vastly different from anything she has ever known. So Sophie has new rules to learn and new skills to master, and not everyone is thrilled that she has come home. There are secrets buried deep in Sophie's memory, secrets about who she really is and why she is hidden among humans, that other people desperately want, would even kill for. In this page-turning debut, Shannon Dempster creates a riveting story where one girl must figure out why she is the key to her brand new world before the wrong person finds the answer first. And the reason why I want to read The Prison Healer, because I have seen that one hyped up on Booktube. But I read a little bit of the first chapter, and it kind of reminds me of when I read the first chapter of Thorn of Glass, because they're both in some form of prison setting. And the Prison Healer is about Kiva Mirandin. She's 17 years old and has spent the last 10 years fighting for survival in the notorious death prison, Zalndorf, working as the prison healer. When the rebel queen is captured, Kiva is charged with keeping the terminal ill woman alive long enough for her to undergo the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental challenges amongst the torments of air, fire, water, and earth, assigned to only the most dangerous of the criminals. Then a coded message from Kiva's family arrives, containing a single order: "Don't let her die. We are coming." Aware that the trial will kill the queen, he will risk her own life to volunteer in her place. If she succeeds, both she and the Queen will be granted their freedom. But no one has ever survived. An incurable plague sweeping sells off a mysterious new inmate fighting for people's heart, and a prison rebellion brewing, Kiva can't escape the terrible feeling that her trials had just begun. And I have seen Scythe is the next one. I've seen this one around a lot. I'm book 2, but I wanted to get to reading it. A world with no hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. Humanity has conquered all those things and has even conquered death. Now scythes are the only ones who can end life, and they're commanded to do so in order to keep the size of the population under control. Theatra and Rowan are chosen to apprentice to a scythe, a role that neither wants. These teens must master the art of taking life, knowing that the consequence of failure could mean losing their own. And next one, I was looking up other books that were like the Natural series, since I just finished that in October, and I found None Shall Sleep by Ali Marnie, and it sounded interesting. In 1982, 2 teenagers, serial killer survivor Emma Lewis and U.S. Marshal candidate Travis Bell, are recruited by the FBI to interview convicted juvenile killers and provide insight and advice on cold cases. From the start, Emma and Travis developed a quick friendship, gaining information from juvenile murderers that even the FBI can't crack. But when the team is called in to give advice on an active case, a serial killer is exclusively hunts teenagers, things begin to unravel. Working against the clock, they must turn to one of the country's most notorious incarcerated murderers for help. Teenage psychopath Simon Knudsen. Despite Travis' objections, Emma becomes the cult between Simon and the FBI team. But while Simon seems to be giving them the information they need to save lives, he is an expert manipulator, playing a very long game, and he has his sights set on Emma. And I'm hoping that's about as good as the Natural series, because I gave the whole series 5 stars, because I just was so attached to it once I was finished with the series. And the next one I'm intrigued to read his work is Riley Sager, and I have I think at least 2 lists of books to read by him for October, and one of them is Final Girls. 10 years ago, college student Quincy Carpenter went on vacation with 5 friends and came back alone. The only survivor of a horror movie, scale massacre. In an instant, she became a member of a club no one wants to belong to. A group of similar survivors known in the press as the Final Girls. Lisa, who lost 9 sorority sisters to a college dropout's knife. Sam, who went up against the sack man during her shift at the Nightlight Inn. And now Quincy, who ran bleeding through the woods to escape Pine Cottage, and the man she refers to only as him. The 3 girls are all attempting to put their nightmares behind them, and with that, one another. Despite the media's attempts, they never met. Now Quincy is doing well, maybe even better, thanks to her Xanax prescription. She has a caring, almost fiancé Jeff, a popular banking blog, a beautiful apartment, and a therapeutic presence in Cope, the police officer who saved her life all those years ago. Her memory won't even allow her to recall the events of that night. The past is in the past. That is until Lisa, the first Final Girl, is found dead in her bathtub, wrist slit, and Sam, the second, appears on Quincy's doorstep, blowing through Quincy's life like a whirlwind. Sam seems intent on making Quincy relive the past, with increasingly dire consequences, all of which makes Quincy question why Sam is really seeking her out. And when new details about Lisa's death come to light, Quincy's life becomes a race against time as she tries to unravel Sam's truth from her lies, evade the police and hungry reporters, and most crucially, remember what really happened at Pine Cottage before what before what was started 10 years ago is finished. And the next one is Shatter Me. I have seen that series get so hyped up that I want to see what is the hype is all about. And it's about Juliet. Hasn't touched anyone in exactly 264 days. The last time she did, it was an accident, but the establishment locked her up for murder. No one knows why. Juliet's touch is fatal. As long as she doesn't hurt anyone else, no one really cares. The world is too busy crumbling to pieces to pay attention to a 17-year-old girl. Diseases are destroying the population. Food is hard to find. Birds don't fly anymore, and the clouds are the wrong color. The reestablished said their way was the only way to fix things. So they threw Juliet in a cell. Now so many people are dead that the survivors are whispering more. And the reestablished has changed its mind. Maybe Juliet is more than a tortured soul stuffed into a poisonous body. Maybe she's exactly what they need right now. Juliet has to make a choice. Be a weapon or be a warrior. And I have a goal of reading all of Mr. Meyer's work. And so far I've worked on the Lunar Chronicles, I checked out. I'm slowly checking out Renegades. And then I have Gilded on the list to read for next year. And this one is about along but cursed by the god of lies, a poor miller's daughter has developed a talent for spinning stories that are fantastical and spellbinding and entirely untrue, or so everyone believes. And one of Cyrodiil's outlandish tales draws the attention of the sinister Earl King and his undead hunters. She finds herself swept away into a grim world where ghouls and phantoms prowl the earth and hollow-eyed ravens track her every move. The king orders Cyrodiil to complete the impossible task of spinning straw into gold, or be killed for telling falsehoods. In her desperation, Cyrodiil unwillingly summons a mysterious boy to her aid. He agrees to help her for a price. Soon, Cyrodiil realizes that there is more than one secret hidden in the castle walls, including an ancient curse that must be broken if she hopes to find the tyranny of the king and his wild hunt forever. And I put The Invisible Life of Audrey Verlew on my list because this is probably the most longest book I've had on my physical TBR. I've read most of my books on my physical TBR. France, 1714. In a moment of desperation, a young woman makes a fictitious bargain to live forever and is cursed to be forgotten by everyone she meets. Thus begins the stormy life of Audrey Verlew, a dazzling adventure that will play out across centuries and continents, across history and art. As the young woman learns how far she will go to leave her mark on the world, but everything changes when, after nearly 300 years, Addie stumbles across a man in a hidden bookstore, and he remembers her name. And next one is Powerless, and this just came out recently. And I heard about it from Sarah Crowley. She hyped it up, so I thought to check it out. And Powerless she is the very thing he spent his whole life hunting. He is the very thing she spent her whole life pretending to be. On this journey belong in the kingdom of Ilya, the exceptional empowered elites. The powers these elites have possessed for decades were graciously gifted to them by the plague. Though not all were fortunate enough to both survive the sickness and reap the reward. Those born ordinary are just that, ordinary. And when the king decreed that all ordinaries be banished in order to preserve his elite society, lacking in ability suddenly became a crime, making Pan Gray a villain by fate and a thief by necessity. Surviving the slums as an ordinary is no simple task, and Peyton knows this better than most. Having been trained by her father to be overly observant since she was a child, Peyton poses as a psychic in the crowded city, blending in with the elites as best she can in order to stay alive and out of trouble. Easier said than done. And the next one is A Court of Rings of Ruin, and that is the third book of the main story of A Court of Thorns and Roses. And the next book is the first book of the Mistborn saga, The Final Empire, by Brandon Sanderson. For 1,000 years the ash fell and no flowers bloomed. For 1,000 years the sky slaved in misery and lived in fear. For 1,000 years the Lord Ruler, the Silver Affinity, reigned with absolute power and ultimate terror, defiantly invincible. Then when hope was so long lost that not even its memory remained, a terrible, sacred, heartbroken half-sky rediscovered it in the depths of the Lord Ruler's most hellish prison. Kessler snapped and found in himself the powers of Mistborn. A brilliant thief and natural leader, he turned his talents to the ultimate caper with the Lord Ruler himself as the mark. Kessler recruited the Underworld's elite, the smartest and most trustworthy manters, each of whom shares one of his many powers, and all of whom relish a high-stakes challenge. Then Kessler reveals his ultimate dream, not that the greatest heist in history, but the downfall of the divine despot. But even with the best criminal crew ever assembled, Kell's plan looks more like the ultimate long shot, until luck brings a ragged girl named Finn into his life. Like him, she's a half-Scot orphan, but she's lived a much harsher life. Finn has learned to expect betrayal from everyone she meets. She will have to learn trust if Kell is to help her master powers of which she never dreamed. And the next one is Nevermore. Now I've heard Nevermore being compared to the TV show Wednesday. Nevermore is about a cursed girl escapes death and finds herself in a magical world, but is then tested beyond her wildest imagination. Morgan Crow is cursed, having been born on Eventide, the unluckiest day for any child to be born. She's blamed for all local misfortunes, from hailstorms to heart attacks. And worst of all, the curse means that Morgan is doomed to die at midnight on her 11th birthday. But as Morgan awaits her fate, a strange and remarkable man named Jupiter North appears. Chased by black smoke, hounds, and shadowy hunters on horseback, he whisks her way into the safety of a secret magical city called Nevermore. It's then that Morgan discovers Jupiter has chosen her to contend for a place in the city's most prestigious organization, the Wondrous Society. In order to join, she must compete in 4 difficult and dangerous trials against hundreds of other children, each boasting an extraordinary talent that sets them apart, an extraordinary talent that Morgan insists she does not have. To stay in the safety of Nevermore for good, Morgan will need to find a way to pass the test, or she'll have to leave the city to confront her deadly fate. And the next one I put on my list because it's a very hyped up book on Book Talk, and that is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I have not read that yet. Aging and reclusive Hollywood movie icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Manuik Grant for the job, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Why her? Why now? Monique is not exactly on top of the world. Her husband has left her, and her professional life is going nowhere. Regardless of why Evelyn has selected her to write her biography, Monique is determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career. Summoned to Evelyn's luxurious apartment, Monique listens in fascination as the actress tells her story, from making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to her decision to leave show business in the 80s, and of course, the 7 husbands along the way. Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. Monique begins to feel a very real connection to the legendary star, but as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's, only in tragic and irreversible ways. The next one I've heard from another booktuber that is one of their favorite middle grade series I want to check out, and that is Pages and Co. And it sounds like Inkheart. It is about a magical adventure to light the imagination, a curl up on the sofa debut for a unique, talented author. 11-year-old Tilly has lived above her grandparents' bookshop ever since her mother disappeared shortly after she was born. Like the rest of her family, Tilly loves nothing more than to escape into the pages of her favorite stories. One day, Tilly realizes that classic children's characters are appearing in the shop through the magic of book wandering, crossing over from the page into real life. With the help of Anna Grant Gables and Alice in Wonderland, Tilly is determined to solve the mystery of what happened to her mother all those years ago. So she bravely steps into the unknown, unsure what adventures lies ahead and what dangers she may face. And I put City of Heavenly Fire for the one of the 24 books on my list, because I would like to finish the Mortal Instruments series. So I'll read you the synopsis a little bit of what the Mortal Instruments is about. The Mortal Instruments is about the Shadow Hunters and a girl named Clara that are trying to save the world, as well as trying to figure out their own lives, and so that the world does not go pretty much to hell. And I've been told that I should read The Infernal Devices before finishing the Mortal Instruments. So at the moment I am on the last book of The Infernal Devices, hoping to finish the Mortal Instruments. So I put this book on my 24 to hopefully finish the Mortal Instruments series. And then I've been hearing the next book is, I've been hearing this book going around Booktube, and it's called The Thursday Murder Club. And I'm hoping to get that book next month, since I just got it from the library. And it's about, in a peaceful retirement village, 4 unlikely friends meet up once a week to investigate unsolved murders. But when a brutal killing takes place on their very doorstep, the Thursday Murder Club find themselves in the middle of their first live case. Elizabeth, Joyce, Abraham, and Ron might be pushing 80, but they still have a few tricks up their sleeves. Can our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer before it's too late? And then the next one is Fox Club. This is the second book in the Belladonna series. So I will read the first book so I don't give anything away with the second book. This one is about a 19-year-old Signa has been raised by a string of guardians, each more interested in her wealth than her well-being, and each has met an untimely end. Her remaining relatives are the exclusive Hawthorns, an eccentric family living at Thorn Grove, in an estate both glittering and gloomy. Its George just mourns his late wife through wild parties while his son grapples for control of the family's reigning reputation, and his daughter suffers from a serious illness. But when their mother's restless spirit appears claiming she was poisoned, Signa realizes that the family depends on could be in grave danger, and enlists the help of a surely stable boy to hunt down the killer. However, Signa's best chance of uncovering the murderer is an alliance with Death himself, a fascinating, dangerous shadow who has never been far from her side. Though he's made her life a living hell, Death shows Signa that their growing connection may be more powerful and more irresistible than she ever dared imagine. And then the next book I have on the list is Strange the Dreamer. Now, I know that Katie is enjoyed this book, so I would like to try and read this book next year. And I believe I have another book I'd like to check out from this author as well. And this one is about... Okay, I'm going to try it. Laszlo Strange, war orphan and junior librarian, has always feared that his dream chose poorly. Since he was 5 years old, he's been obsessed with the mythic lost city of Weep. But it would take someone bolder than he to cross half the world in search of it. Then a sudden opportunity presents himself in the person of a hero called the Godslayer, and a band of legendary warriors, and he has to seize his chance or lose his dream forever. What happened in Weep 200 years ago to cut it off from the rest of the world? What exactly did the Godslayer slay that went by the name of God? Or what is the mysterious problem he now seeks help in solving? The answers await in Weep, but so do more mysterious, including the blue-skinned goddess who appears in Laszlo's dreams. How did he dream her before he knew she existed? And if all the gods are dead, why does she seem so real? Welcome to Weep. And then I've been trying to get this book from the library, but it seems to be always out, so I made sure I put this on hold. I would like to read A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. And this book is about Meryl Spark, is professed to be the most powerful witch seen in centuries of the famed Spark family. But to the displeasure of her mother, she prefers baking to brewing potions and gardening to casting hexes. When a spell summoned flower goes very wrong, Meryl finds herself staring down a demon, one she had verily summoned for a soul bargain. All throughout the Ruthless is a legend among demons. Powerless and merciless, he drives hard bargains to collect mortal souls, but his reputation has suffered ever since the bargain with Ari. If he can strike a bargain with Meryl, he'll earn back his deadly reputation. Azoth can't leave Meryl's side until they complete a bargain, which she refuses to do. But the witch is funny and curvy and disgustingly yet enduringly cheerful. Becoming an awkward roommate quickly escalates when Meryl, terrified to confess the inadvertent something to her mother, blurts out that she's dating Azeroth. As Azeroth and Meryl struggle with their opposing goals and retain the fake relationship, real attraction blooms between them, but Azeroth has a limited amount of time to strike the deal, and if Meryl gives up her soul, she'll lose all her emotions, including love, which only spell disaster for them both. And the last book, I've been seeing people pick it up for Book of the Month, but I have not seen anybody read this book. And I know it was on Good Choice Awards too. It is Ink Blood Sister Scribe. For generations, the Kaltoy family has guarded a collection of ancient and rare books. Books that let a person walk through walls or manipulate the elements. Books of magic the half-sisters Joanna and Esther have been raised to revere and protect. All magic comes with a price, though, and for years the sisters have been separated. Esther has fled to a remote base in Antarctica to escape the fate that killed her own mother. And Joanna's isolated herself in their family home in Vermont, devoting her life to the study of these cherished volumes. But after their father dies suddenly while reading a book Joanna has never seen before, the Stitchers must reunite to preserve the family legacy. In the process, they'll uncover a world of magic far bigger and more dangerous than they ever imagined. And all the secrets their parents kept hidden, secrets that span centuries, continents, and even other libraries. Hopefully, I can get to all 24 of these books in 2024. Tell me, what books do you plan to read in 2024? Do you have a goal of doing 24 books in 2024? Please let me know. Please comment below and let me know what books do you plan to read in 2024. Like, comment, and subscribe.